Here at the Faye Show, we bring you interesting interviews with incredible, amazing people like reality star and Squid Game, The Challenge, right? Third runner-up, hometown local boy, Sam Lantz. Watch this. I'm super excited about my next guest. Today, we're thrilled to welcome Sam Lantz to my bed. He's a finalist from Netflix's Squid Game, the Challenge. You saw it, come on. Hailing from the quaint town of Kuna, Idaho, Sam's journey has been nothing short of remarkable. From his artistic endeavors to finding love in the digital age, Sam brings a unique perspective to the table. He's passionate, and he's also passionate about interior design, fashion, and advocacy for the LGBTQ+ community. He loves to go on adventures with his husband, Doug, who I just met and is such a cutie, and their two adopted dogs, Duke and Moo.
Moo.
Moo!
It's the perfect name.
Right? It's going to be an incredible interview with Sam. Welcome, Sam, to the Faye What Show. Sam, how
Crowd
are
goes
you?
wild.
All right, see, you get it. Every time somebody gets in bed, I do that. Because I'm manifesting a future audience, you know, right? Of the crowd going wild.
Right. The crowd in your bedroom going wild.
Right? Okay, I didn't think that through, though, about them being in my bedroom, right? I mean, that's some OnlyFans shit right there, you know?
That is.
Thank you for being in bed with me today, honey. So Sam is player 16 in Squid Game, The Challenge, right? Did you watch the original Squid Game before you went on the show? Was that like something you had to do?
I did. We didn't have to do it. Like Phil, my co-finalist, hadn't even seen the show until he was cast.
Okay.
So I was personally a huge fan of the show. I watched it a couple of times before I ever even applied for the show.
Before it was even like a thought in your mind.
Right.
Okay.
Which I think helped prepare me because I knew it was going to be very hard.
Yeah.
I knew like there was not going to be, it wasn't going to be a cushy. It wasn't going to be this.
Yes.
We weren't just going to be sitting in bed.
Right? With our dog
with
chilling
our
out.
dog chilling. So I knew it was going to be hard and I was ready for it. I was excited for it.
Okay. So how long were you actually there?
From start to finish, 17 days. So I left kind of about a half a day before the official end of shooting because, spoiler alert.
Spoiler alert, which you already saw it.
Yeah,
Sam didn't win.
You better have already seen it.
Sam didn't win.
Didn't win.
Unfortunately.
Yeah, so I had about a half a day cut off of, but I was still there.
Okay, but that's still 16 days that you were there, right? So my wife and I were like, you know, you don't go outside. You have no clocks, right?
No
They
clocks.
tell you lights out, and they can actually tell you lights out for 4 hours, and you have no freaking idea if it's been 4 hours or 15 hours, you know? Could you sleep?
Actually, yeah. I practiced kind of meditation and breathing exercises before I went in. So in order to calm my brain, because we were always thinking, what's going to happen next? Who's going to get eliminated?
Anxiety, right?
Yeah, like you're always thinking, like you lay in bed and you're like, oh my gosh, this thing I did when I was 5 years old. And so we were laying in there going, oh my gosh, I talked to this person earlier. Now they hate me and now they're going to vote me off. Or so I was able to just kind of focus on the, you know, in 2, 3, 4, out 2, 3, 4, and that kind of shut everything else out of my brain. And I was able to sleep. But I know a lot of people had a very difficult time sleeping there.
But I don't think I would have been able to sleep either. And again, like that thought process of, you know, at night, right? Like at night, like I don't know about you folks, but at night I'm like, oh, I should have said this in this interview, or oh, maybe I should have worn that in that interview. Well, this is like times 50,000, you know? And then you're like, okay, how about, you know, we've been watching reality shows for more than 2 decades at this point, you know? So we know that there's always like someone who's scamming, and we also know that there's always a game within a game, or maybe not, but just the possibility of that happening could drive you freaking insane.
I just kind of accepted that whenever I thought I had a grasp on things is when it was all going to change. You never knew what was going to happen. Like when that cloche came out in the dinner, I was like, I don't trust that.
Yes.
And Phil and Mai were both like, they told us we could enjoy this dinner. Stop it. And I was like,
but I was with you. I was like, I wouldn't eat that shit. And it looked so good. And they have been like famished, you know? Like it was like, oh my God, like that food looked amazing. Did being gay in Fort Lauderdale help you with any challenges?
Being gay, period, helped me throughout the entire game because, like I said in the show, I'm very confident in holding my cards close to my chest. This is going to make me cry. I don't know why. But when you're so used to hiding yourself, going into a place where controlling how people see you is kind of easy.
Yeah. I didn't think of it that way. You're absolutely right.
And so it also, like, I went in and I was like, I'm gay, because it immediately kind of made everyone warm up to me. But also it took anything away from me being tall or, masculine looking or masculine acting. It kind of took that away from that target off of my back, because just social biases, not necessarily a negative social bias or anything like homophobic or anything like that, but immediately people are like, oh, he's not the threat that I think he is. And so it really helped me actually make friends, but it also helped me not become a target.
Yeah. Yeah. And, every year we celebrate National Coming Out Day. Everybody, celebrates that. And from this same bed, I constantly say, like, I love that people celebrate when they came out. But if you are LGBTQ+, we come out every freaking day. We come out in every single situation, and sometimes it puts us in harm. Sometimes it helps, So I have to say that I thought it was so freaking brave of you to just come out and do it and just say it. Like, I'm just going to put this on the table. This is who I am, right? Whoever it offends, fine. Whoever's cool with it, let's get this game started.
Right. And it was not really so much of it didn't feel like I was coming out. It was more of just, these are the things about me, and that's a major thing about me. So it was something that I felt was important to say, but it wasn't everything about me.
Yeah, and it's not. If if when you explain, oh, Faye, tell me a little bit about yourself. Well, I love to get dressed up. I love dogs profoundly. I love my wife. It wouldn't be the first three things that I would say about me. It's part of who we are. It's part of our fiber. But understand that the second that you said I'm gay, all these little queer kids were like, oh my God, he's gay and he's on a reality show. I could be like him, know?
The representation matters. Just at the end of the day, being someone that people can be like, this person has lived almost 40 years and is happy, and looking back at the pain that I went through and trying to find my way because no one was there to give me any kind of guidance, to be the person that can be someone can look at and be like, I can make it.
And you are. It's okay to cry. That is so fucking powerful.
It's kind of wild because I am not afraid to cry, but I haven't cried. I never cried before the show as much as I do after the show.
Yeah, but because then you really see the people that you've touched, Sam.
Hundreds of people have come up to me and messaged me and just said that these little things that I shared about myself and the pain that I shared about myself helped them kind of circumvent or just detour around little things. Like, I've overthought so much, and now I'm like, I didn't need to think that hard about that. I can just let that go because my life continues.
Yeah. And your life is continuing in such a beautiful way.
Such an amazing way.
Let's talk about the creepy freaking doll. Okay, was it as creepy on the challenge as it looked on the show?
Honestly, when we walked in that room and she was probably, I don't even know, like 10 or 12 feet tall.
I mean, you're like 10 or 12 feet tall, so
I was like, hey, let's be friends. And she was like, no.
No, but did you have like bad dreams afterwards about her or anything? I mean, because they really did a great copy of that doll, Sam. Like, that shit was spot on.
Like, we did not expect her to turn around fully. And when she did, everybody in that room, all 456 people were like, oh my gosh, this is really happening. And then when her head would spin, and then the little song that she sings,
that's the creepy song. That's that creepy song that got stuck in my head forever.
It is a creepy song, and it's way creepier than just red light, green light. Yeah. It's way creepier.
Yeah. And she's saying something in Chinese or something. Korean. And that even makes it even creepier.
It's something about the hibiscus flower blooms at I can't remember.
She could say that you are going to live a long, prosperous life, and all I hear is, you're going to die, you're going to die, red light, green light, you're going to die. One thing to the producers and the people who made that, I really think that there should have been a blood aspect to it. I missed the blood a little bit because I remember the original show. That was a lot of freaking blood.
Yeah, they kind of wanted to steer away from that. I know, because there was a lot of they were putting us under a lot of stress as it was, so they kind of wanted to make the black kind of like, Squid ink, and kind of ease us out of the traumatic part, which it already was, because they were emulating the deaths by just taking our friends away. We weren't like saying goodbye and stuff like that.
Like
even when we got to hug people,
that's it.
They were gone. We never got to talk to them again. We never talked really about them again. Wow. It was as if they had
died. And you had to go through that loss in a minute or an hour because you had to go on to the next challenge.
Yeah. It was a lot of emotion.
Yeah, and again, and I'm here telling you, like, the producer should have added blood. Like, trauma much, Faye? Like, what was I thinking, right? Like, that was just only for me because I'm a fucking moron. We had another local person on the show, Chad Van Horn.
Yes, Chad.
Right?
I adore Chad.
Hi, Chad.
Hi, Chad.
So he had the pact he had with the older lady, Mai, right? Who won?
Yeah.
Okay. Like, have you asked her for any money, by the way?
No.
Like none? Not even like a couple bucks?
No.
She won $4.56 million.
Yeah.
Okay? By winning, and won with rock, paper, scissors. Isn't that how that went down?
Yeah.
Wow.
That was an epic battle. I think they played something like 33 games, which of course they had to truncate for television. But you'll notice the keys, they go down from like this to you being able to see the bottom of the glass cube that they're sitting in. They played a lot of games.
33 games.
Yeah.
33 games as in best of whatever.
No, 33 games until the person found the key that unlocked the system.
Oh my God. So there's no way they could have put all that on the show. That would have been 33 hours of shit. Oh my God.
That would have been very boring. Just 33 games of rock, paper, scissors.
Are you good at rock, paper, scissors?
Yeah, what's so funny is
Let's play real quick.
Oh, wait, are we going to go behind our backs?
Oh, okay. We could do it. Okay. 1, 2, 3.
Nicely done.
All right, one for me. Okay. Well, okay. 1, 2, 3.
Up.
Okay. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Damn it! Damn it! See, you would have won the $4.5 million though.
Well, we had to choose keys.
But still, you never know.
I choose Luna.
I would have chose Luna too.
You the key.
You were third to, at the end of it all, 450 something people, right?
456, yeah.
Did you think you'd make it that far, Sam?
I never let myself think about it, because if you think about you're going to make it to the end, everything else has a lot more weight to it. But if you take everything piece by piece, chunk by chunk, it's just that little thing.
I love that. That's so wonderful. I'm in sobriety. I've been sober 9 years. And so one of the things that we say all the time is one day at a time,
right.
And when you're in early sobriety, it's even one moment at a time. Like you can't even think about dinner. I have to figure out how breakfast is going to go and how I'm going to do right now. So kind of the same thing. I'm not going to let myself go into, because we're always worried about shit that doesn't even happen.
Right.
98% of the time.
Right.
So you really had to get your game face on. Your meditation, as you said, was really important to you during that time.
Yeah.
And I could see that saving your butt, big time. Whew. How did you practice for the licking of the honeycomb?
I don't know that there was really any practice. My husband, before the show, he was like, you need to buy those cookies. And at that point, there were just so many things that I was overthinking that I needed to just stop. And I was like, I can't do it.
I can't add one more thing to this right now.
I can't overthink it right now. And when I went in, all I thought was, Doug is going to kill me. And then I got Star, and I was like, oh no.
My God. Uh-huh.
But I went to dental hygiene school. I didn't graduate because it wasn't my bliss. But I knew that if I thought about food, I would get a different type of saliva.
Okay.
So I knew that if
you would produce more.
You produce more saliva, and you also produce a more digestive saliva versus just a lubrication saliva.
Okay, I didn't know you did research on saliva. Holy shit.
Well, I mean, school, thanks.
No, right? Thank you, dental school.
Thank you, dental school. So I knew that if I had that certain kind of saliva, it would help break down the sugars faster. And it was kind of disgusting, so luckily they didn't show it in the show, but we all had just mouthfuls of saliva, and we just spit it in the bottom of the tin. It was just this big it was so gross. And I didn't really lick it.
Okay.
I just
kind of wet it.
I wet it, and then I would scratch it, and then I held it up, and I was panicking, thinking I wasn't getting anywhere. And then somehow some of my saliva got into the grooves on the front. I think I may have spit in it again. And at that point, it started eating through the cookie from the top, and then like my needle just went through, and I was like, "Oh my gosh, I'm done." And you can see in the show,
You
like
kind of look
my
surprised,
temple vein
right?
is like bulging out. 'Cause also, my best friend Danny had just been eliminated. It's like me to Luna, and I just watched her be eliminated, and I was like, I don't.
And she was eliminated like just one little thing cracked. Like it wasn't even like she was so on it and focused. And then like when she was about to finish, the little corner cracked and she lost.
Yeah.
And it was like, oh my God.
It was rough. It was rough in there because it seemed like also a lot of people were picking up their cookie to do it, and I was like, I need to keep it in the tin. I need to keep it stable. I'm an artist, so I knew I had a stable hand to be able to modulate the pressure. So I had a little bit in my head of, I can do this, but it was also Star, so I wasn't cocky.
Yeah.
I think a lot of the people in Star passed just for that reason. It was an umbrella, so we weren't overwhelmed, and it wasn't triangle, so we weren't cocky and just letting it
go. Yeah, just thinking it'd be easy.
Because a lot of people in triangle just tried to break it.
Yeah, but a lot of people fucked it up too by just trying to break it up.
I think more people made it through Star than made it through triangle.
Yeah.
And that's just...
But that's also because they were very cocky, like you said, you know?
That's exactly it. So,
well, let me tell you, as a lesbian, right, we could have taught you how to lick that honeycomb real quick.
I should have come to you.
You should have. Listen, if the challenge has like a reboot, like they do All Stars in the future, and you know they're going to call your ass to be on it, I'm giving you a freaking lesson on it. And you're going to be like,
I'll call
done.
I'll call
what do you want? Umbrella.
Too.
What do you want? I'll take umbrella. No problem. I got this. So you and your incredible husband, Doug, have two pups, right?
Yeah.
Right?
2 rescue dogs.
And tell us about them.
We rescued them right after the start of pandemic. Actually, April Fool's Day, we adopted 2 incredible little babies. What's so funny is my dog is a lot like my husband, and his dog is a lot like me.
So his dog is 6 feet tall?
His dog is basically 6 feet tall. Legs for days, and an attitude, and always needs to be touched. So
and that's how you are?
And that's how I am. And I love my head rubbed. I love my back rubbed. My love language is definitely physical touch. And Moo is just lay on the ground, and maybe I'll come up, but only if I'm jealous of Duke getting all the attention. Not that Doug is ever jealous, but she has the more calm and loving aspect of the 2, and then Duke is a little more hyper and high maintenance.
And you didn't have dogs before then, or you had a couple too, right?
I've had dogs in the past, but when we got together, neither of us had a dog, so it was kind of nice because it wasn't one person's dog.
Yes, it wasn't his dog coming into the relationship or your dog.
Right.
How long have you been with Doug now? Because you guys are married, right?
We got married in October of 2022.
But you're still newlyweds.
Yeah, so we got married just before the show filmed, and then after the show filmed, we actually went on our honeymoon because I got to stay a little bit longer. So he flew over, and
I love that. And that was in LA. Was it in LA?
In London.
They filmed it in London.
Yeah.
Oh my God, how interesting! But that's a great little honeymoon to be. I love London. I can't deal with their weather, but they've got like great people, their food, and their culture is just incredible.
The city is absolutely wonderful.
So when Doug went over to London to meet you, when you were done, were you able to tell him like, I'm third, or I didn't win, or
I had to sign an NDA that was like that, and so did he. So before I ever even got my phone back, they called him. He was actually getting on a flight to LA, and they were like, "You have to sign this NDA before Sam can have his phone back." And he's like, "Okay, send it to me." So he sat in the airport while his plane is boarding, signing this NDA so I could get my phone back. And then I was
that's love.
Yeah.
See, that would have been my wife. Like, I ain't giving her her phone.
She'll only cause trouble.
Right, exactly. She'll only cause trouble. Let me give her her phone. She would have done something like that.
And they FedEx it to me.
You know? And so then, but then you were able to tell him everything,
I was able
right?
to tell him everything because he signed the same NDA I did. Yeah.
Did you cry when you saw him?
Oh, yeah.
Like, because it's just like such a, right? Like,
yeah,
I just got through that. I just went through that, and you're here. Like,
he's my safe space.
Yes.
He's the person that makes me feel, again, he makes me feel worth it. He makes me feel loved and secure and able to do anything. So that's why I was able to go on the show.
Can we double date? Can we double date, please? Oh my God, I love this so much. Listen, our person is just supposed to make us safe. That's it.
Yeah.
Like, and it's hard to explain that, right? The
It's
world
so-
is crazy. It's
So
it's
hard.
an election year. I'm so worried about Trump. I can't even tell you, Sam.
Oh, same.
Okay. And I was that girl that didn't give a shit about politics before.
Yeah.
We got marriage equality and I was like, woohoo, we done, you know? And I was a damn fool for it. And I had to quickly get educated during the Trump years, you know? And I am freakily afraid that I won't be married someday to this woman that took me 40 years to find.
Yeah. It feels like we have started to build a foundation and the flood is coming any day to just wash everything out from under us. And
You're so poignant. I'm like, it sucks. We're fucked. He's like, the waters are rising. You know?
it's just it feels rough. It feels rough to be able to have something that you are so happy in, but know that there's people ready to just come and bulldoze you.
Yeah.
For no reason.
Or there's people that just don't want us to breathe, Sam. Like people that don't know you, don't know Doug, don't know your adorable pets, don't know me, you know, and just automatically don't want us to exist.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like I don't think it's anybody's business who's in bed with me. And I also don't think that men should be making decisions as to what I should do with my reproductive organs. And this is the world we live in right now.
Yeah, it's based in people's unhappiness, I believe. People are so unhappy and they don't want other people to be able to make choices that make them happy because they're making choices that make themselves unhappy.
You know, we both heard this a million times. Hurt people hurt people.
Exactly.
And that's what it is, you know. Sam, you're super passionate about advocating for our community, you know. How has being on Squid Game elevated your platform to be able to reach more queer gay boys out there?
Being able to tell my story of coming out and losing my family has surprisingly, I don't know why I'm surprised, but has touched so many people that have parallel stories and given them, I don't want to say hope, but given them fellowship. Mm-hmm. And it's given me an example of just talking about our pain.
Yeah. Yeah.
Even though we're afraid it's going to hurt us more, it doesn't. It helps other people.
Yeah.
And releasing that poison that we keep bottled up inside, that resentment that it can boil over into, just really helps a lot more people than you would think. And it's not in vitriol. It's not in hate. It's not, this is just what happened to me.
Yeah.
And it's really great to find people that have that too and have grown into fabulous people.
Fabulous people.
Yeah.
You know, you're speaking out for the voiceless, for the people that can't.
Right. And I'm what I like to call a palatable queer, because I'm masculine acting, I'm masculine presenting, I'm a cisgendered white man. And so I'm the person that they will listen to, and I will be that person that will speak until I can get them to listen to the other people.
I love that. I love that.
Not that they need my help.
No,
but
no. And
the people on the other side need my help.
No, completely. You know, I'm really involved with our trans community. You know, our trans community is the most attacked. You know, the most vilified. You know, most people didn't even know what trans was a couple of years ago, and now it's all over the news, coming out of mouths that it shouldn't. You know. Trans Day of Visibility is coming up, and I'm blessed that I get to help an organization called Trans Social do their events. And, I'm constantly thinking that, like, if I'm at the table, if I'm allowed at the table because I'm light skinned, then I'm going to make sure that my trans community is going to get a seat at the table as well, you know? Right. But like you said, sometimes they'll listen to you before they listen to the next person behind you. And that just speaks such volumes on your integrity, your intention, you're passionate. You know, you're a fucking good ass person.
Thank you. Thank you.
Just saying, in case nobody told you that. So you've been really open about your mental health, anxiety. There's such a stigma behind getting help.
Right.
We're talking about it openly. We talked about it before the show. A lot of things get us anxious. A lot of people need treatment. A lot of people should get treatment, and there's so many different kinds of help. Mm-hmm. Just talking about it is a way for you to help.
Absolutely. It helps you, it helps your partner, it helps any relationship that you have if you're able to share things that make you vulnerable and ways in which you're weak. if the person loves you, they will want you to be stronger. They will want you to feel more secure. So if you tell someone something and they say, you know, get over it or whatever, or it's not what you need, you either need to be more clear or that person's just not for your life.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
And they have their own pain and their own strength that they need to grow in. But people that you surround yourself with should be people that build you up. And I am so lucky. I have a chosen family that includes biological members of my family
I love
now.
that.
But it's
Do you still not talk to your parents?
My father died when I was 17, but my mom, I don't speak to her. I don't know if she's tried to reach out to me, but like I've said before, there's only so many times you grab a hot pop before you're like, yeah, I'm going to just wait until.
Yeah, I still have the scars from the last welts you left me.
Yeah, so I'm reserved in that respect.
No, and you're protecting yourself, Sam.
Right,
There's
and the
nothing wrong
people
with
I
that.
love.
And the people you love, you know?
Right.
You know, I love the word chosen family and I hate the word chosen family, right? Because, I mean, I've got people in my chosen family crew that I would die for, Sam.
Yeah.
You know, that if they needed a kidney, I'd give it to them,
Absolutely,
you know, wholeheartedly, you know, just like, and there's some chosen people that I love more than people I share blood with,
Absolutely.
you know, and just, you know, core people it's so important, like Sam said, you know, for a lot of years, I just was taking on people. Come on, let's be friends. The more friends, the better, you know, and you end up having these toxic bloodsuckers that like take all your energy and take all your insight and take all your love and then leave. And then you're left like, why am I so exhausted? What just happened?
Right.
You know, and you might be going through a tough time yourself, or you might be about to spiral and you need the people who elevate you, not the people who bring you down.
Right. And I mean, and those people have value as well, but they have a different type of help. They need a different type of help than you can give them. And you need to be able to realize in yourself that, yes, they need help, but you don't always need to be the person that helps.
Yeah.
Because you need help too.
Yes. Yeah.
And you need to think of yourself. You need to take care of yourself first and then take care of other people.
Like in AA, they tell us, you know, you got to put the mask on, right? You got to put on the mask on yourself before you go and help somebody else, like on an airplane. You know, I mean, same thing.
Yeah.
So what's next for you, Sam? Like, what's next? Are you doing another reality show? Like, what show will you be on next? Like, has this like bubbled up something inside you that now you want to go on Survivor, or you want to go, I don't know, like a Big Brother, or you want to go on something else? Like, was this the first reality show you did?
It is the first reality show I've ever applied for. A first reality show.
And you got it just like that.
I don't know if it was just like that.
Well, they saw your freaking face, and it was like, and just like that, we want him, like, you know. But so now, like, what? I mean, you're an artist also. Like, what do you want to do now?
I've been on this kind of cross country tour where I've been in a different city every night. So now I have a little bit of a quiet time where I can kind of focus on the organizations I want to work with. I would really love to work with, obviously, the pets. I like pets more than I like people. Yeah. And the queer community. I feel like we need allies within as well as without. Yeah. And we need strong people that can take the waves versus be bowled over by them. And I feel like because of my point that I'm in with my chosen family and my husband, I feel like I can give people a little more because I've been through so much and I kind of feel like I'm on the other side. And I want to help as much as I can. And I really would love to be on another reality show. It's hard now being on the biggest one ever to look at other reality shows and be like, oh yeah, I'd like to be on that one. So for me, it's kind of, I've watched Big Brother for such a long time. I would love to be on Big Brother, but Traitors, I think is my I love Traitors
that's
so
awesome.
much. I love Traitors.
What's the premise of Traitors?
Have you ever played the game Mafia? Like, it's like a party game where you kind of sit in a circle and everybody puts their head down, and then a certain number of people are chosen to be Mafia, and then they kill or eliminate someone from the circle while everybody's heads are down, and then everybody's heads are up, and they have to find out who Mafia is.
Okay.
Who the people are that ousted them. So it's very much like that.
Okay, it sounds like a much cooler Clue.
It's so good. Yeah, it's like Clue in a Scottish castle with Alan Cummings, which I mean, that's just
No, you got to get on that show.
That's just a dream.
You have to get on that show.
Yeah. Netflix also has another show I'd love to be on called The Trust, which is everybody can either split the pot or they can eliminate people to make their split even more. So it's a very much a social.
I think I started watching that, and then they were like, again, a game inside a game kind of deal.
Yes,
but that shit would really is a head twister right there on that one.
Yeah.
Something else that you're passionate about, and if it's okay for us to talk about, is just using your platform to help others with like suicide prevention and stuff like that.
Absolutely.
Unfortunately, you've lost someone dear to you.
I've lost several people very close to me to suicide. So it's hard to watch, especially as someone that's come out on the other side of the pain and someone who has in the past attempted self-harm. When I was very young, I thought there was no way out. Everyone was always going to hate me. I was, as the religion put it, an abomination. And so in the era before internet,
I'm going to give you my rope so you can wash your tears off. That's what I do.
In the era before the internet, I had no...
You can take off your shirt if you want.
Oh, yeah, here, I'll take it off to dry my tears. It seems like an inappropriate time to do it. But in an era before representation where what we saw was jokes made at our expense, it felt very much like I had nowhere to go. I had no one that was going to love me if I was my true, authentic self. Because at a certain point, I just had to accept that this is who I was, because there was no way I was going to force. I tried making deals with God. I tried everything I could to not be who I was. And so to see the level of pain and just hopelessness, and that's really what it feels like, is hopelessness.
The darkness.
The darkness just pulling you in and pulling you in. And
it's like quicksand.
Yeah.
And it feels like there's no, this world is better without me.
Right. You're just trying to keep your head above whatever, and you can't fight your way out. And to be on the other side and see, oh, that was of my own making. It's like waking up from a nightmare and you're tangled in your own sheets. And you're like, oh, like, I can handle this. But that's viewing it from my side, from this side. When I was in it, it was hopeless.
Yeah, and you couldn't see it from the other
see
side.
it. So being able to be the person that's like, not an example, or I hate saying I'm an example, but being someone that can just voice and say, I can feel the pain that you're in, and I can't be saying that I know what you're going through or what anybody's going through, but I went through an immeasurable amount of pain, it felt like to me. So I can be able to be there and say, just hold on to what you have, the people you love, and talk to them. When you are feeling your most hopeless and you think that no one cares, there are people that care.
There are.
Even if you don't know them, like, I care. I care that you're in the world. And like, to lose these people that are going through so much to find their power is devastating.
Yeah. I'm so glad that you made it through that.
I am too. I'm really glad. Like,
and I know that you're limiting. You're like, oh, I'm not a role model, or I'm not. Stop saying those things. You just are. You're living out loud.
Yeah.
Okay. And so many people don't get to. The suicide rates, especially in LGBTQ, have gone up. So much recently. And the Trevor Project does a scale every year, and it's scary, when it talks to LGBTQ plus kids and it asks them how many have wanted to end their life, and more than half have, thought of or tried to,
Yeah, and people think that we have enough, or why do we still have pride, or why are we railing about representation? And it's because people are still helpless, and people are making people feel helpless. And that's why I like to say it's like we're in a fog, because we don't know where we're going. We have No idea. No, it doesn't matter who you are or how you were raised or whatever. You don't know where you're going. And all we can do is be on the other side of that fog or in the fog even and farther along than someone else and just yelling to help them know that there's somewhere to go and that they're not going to fall off a cliff.
Yeah. And that it is possible.
It's possible.
You know, because
Yeah.
at that moment when the quicksand is up here, you're like, oh, that's it. I'm letting go. That's
Right.
it. It doesn't matter. I'm never going to get over this.
Right.
You can get over this.
You can get
you
over
can
it.
get over this. You know, if you have thoughts about suicide, please go talk to someone.
Please.
There are so many organizations from Pride Lines in Miami to SunServe up here in Fort Lauderdale and everywhere in between. There is help. Don't think that because you have no insurance, none of that, that's bullshit. There is help. Just seek it out. You should not sit with it by yourself. There's others who have been through it. You know, for me in AA, I can't have a normie tell me, oh, do you need a meeting? Or, oh, you're a little off. You know, only someone that has been in my shoes
Right.
can tell me like this, because you know exactly what that darkness feels like, what that quicksand feels like, what that point of no return feels like, you know, of meeting somebody else and seeing them in their same pain. That kismet, that connection, there's no way to explain that to somebody that has not been through it.
No. And you're never a burden. It doesn't matter if the person doesn't know you, if they have a passion, which everybody in those organizations has a passion for helping people find their way, you're never a burden. You will be welcomed with open arms and people will try their hardest to help you help yourself.
I love it. Sam, thank you so much for being in bed with me today.
Of course.
You're such an
Most
exceptional
amazing.
human. Like, I can't even with this. Please make sure that you follow him on all social media. Paul Bunyan.
Paul Bunyan.
When I was following you, I was like,
Ish.
Paul Bunyan. I'm like, is this him? It's Paul Bunyan underscore or something,
Underscore
right?
ish.
Ish. Because
I'm not Paul Bunyan. I'm just ish. Paul Bunyan ish.
So follow him, okay? Paul Bunyan ish, okay? AKA Sam Lantz on all social media
All
outlets.
social media.
And who knows where he pop up next, okay? But he's gonna pop up somewhere representing all of us. So how fantastic is that? Boop, boop, boop. I'm Faye Watt, and we will be right back.